When does it end? It feels like every year in the gaming industry, something big happens, right? A few years ago was EA's microtransactions with Battlefront 2. Blew up, and now the world is still in a push against microtransactions to this day. Uh, then it was huge crunch, that crazy story. I believe it started with Naughty Dog. Like a lot of employees, a lot of higher ranking employees left because of crunch, and it became this whole industry thing. It feels like every single year, another video game industry related topic just completely blows up, and they're all terribly wrong. But this one is actually different. It feels way darker than any of the huge explosion of news that we gotten. This one's pertaining to Activision. If you guys don't know, Activision has had a massive problem with sexual harassment in the workplace. Um, they've been warned in the past by the state, but they didn't fix it. In fact, it just got worse. Um, there's a whole article. I believe it's California are suing Activision for this egregious, terrible, disgusting behavior. I'm gonna read to you the worst part of the lawsuit, and I'm only doing this to bring more attention to it. This video won't be monetized in any way, shape, or form. Uh, this is really hard to read, but I'm going to do it. Um, in a tragic example of the harassment that defendants allowed to fester in their offices, a female employee she took her own life when a company trip due to a sexual relationship that she was having with her male supervisor. The male supervisor was found by police to have brought a butt plug and lubricant on the business trip. Another employee confirmed that the deceased female may have been suffering from other sexual harassment at work prior to her death. Specifically, at a holiday party before her death, male coworkers were alleged to be passing around a picture of the deceased vagina. That itself is super hard to read. I'll post a full lawsuit in the description if you want to read it, but the whole thing is absolutely terrible. Reading it from the top to the bottom, it's fucking awful. And this feels darker than uh, any of the past huge controversies within the gaming industry. It's different from the crunch. It's different from microtransactions. This is dark. This is some dark shit. And what pisses me off the most is they were warned. This is not the first. This is not something that's coming out of nowhere. Activision was warned about this in the past, and they ignored it, and the problem festered and it grew. And with no change and no repercussions, these things just keep happening. And with what I'm worried about is with the crunch scenario that happened, with the microtransaction scenario that happened, it all started with one or two companies, and then it got exposed that all these companies were doing it. And what worries me right now is that most companies are doing this same type of sexual harassment that Activision was doing, following the trend that one company is exposed and all of the gaming companies are suddenly exposed to doing the exact same thing. That's what bothers me a lot. Call of Duty, the official Call of Duty Twitter, even said that Activision should be responsible. But at this point, why still be a part of Activision, right? Why is Activision still even a thing right now? I won't be buying any Activision games. I can't support. This is one of the worst stories I think I've ever read. She took her own life because coworkers were passing around her nudes like they were fucking trading cards. Imagine what she went through, right? Imagine what she was feeling. How did she find out that they were just passing it on? Were they just passing around in her face? Did someone go up to her and say, "Hey, we saw this and it's good job," you know? I don't want to even. I can't even imagine how she was feeling. She clearly felt so terrible that she took her own life because she just couldn't deal with it. What was she gonna do? Quit her job? These people have her nudes, and she has to live the rest of her life knowing that so many people saw what she looked like. I don't know. And there's so much crap in this article. Like, I don't want to get into it. I don't want to explain all of it. I need you just to read it for yourself because I don't want to say that shit. There was one thing I read where coworkers would get really, really drunk and they have like a little game they call the cubic crawl, where the males would crawl into other women's cubicle. And the article said that, you know, they grope them, they say terrible sexual things to them, and they took it. They took it. Again, there's so much more. That's not even the end of it. I'm just scratching the surface. This gaming industry is fucking terrible. I'm not gonna lie, it's terrible. You know, every it's not every gaming industry. Sony Santa Monica does not do this, um, but it bothers me. It really, really bothers me to imagine how these female workers were feeling, right? Not getting promotions, less pay, more work, while male co-workers play video games. They're doing the dirt. It's I don't even know what to say. uh I don't know. I think that's all I got. This industry is dark. It's just a dark industry where it's either a company trying to steal money. You know, you pay $20 for a skin. I'm looking at you, 2K. You know, to devs don't get to go home, and if they go home, that's it. You know, they're fired because they want to see their families because they're stuck working for like 52 hours straight with no rest. I don't know. I'm getting sick and tired of this video game industry, man. I really am getting sick and tired of it. That's all I gotta say.